Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we say anything else today, I want you to do something a little unusual. Look at your phone. Look at your hands. Look around the room you are sitting in right now. Now, let me ask you a question that might sting a bit. Are you actually living your life, or are you just passively moving through it? Think about it. We all want the same grand things, don't we? We want the freedom to travel the world, the dream career, financial abundance, a peaceful mind, and deep, meaningful relationships that make us feel genuinely alive. But what did you actually do today to close the gap between the life you live right now and the life you constantly dream about? If your honest answer is that you spent your morning scrolling through social media, watching random videos, or telling yourself that you'll finally start tomorrow, then we need to have a serious, unfiltered conversation. Because here is the brutal truth no one wants to admit. This life isn't a dress rehearsal. You don't get a second chance, a restart button, or a backup life to try again when this one slips away. This moment, right now, is all you have. In this video, we aren't going to talk about cheap, temporary motivation or feel-good platitudes. Instead, I'm going to hold up a mirror to the habits, lies, and mental traps that are quietly stealing your future. If you're ready to wake up from the routine you didn't even realize you were trapped in, stick around. Let's look at exactly how to reclaim your time, build unshakable discipline, and stop wasting your one precious life. Time is your life. Let's start with something you've probably said 1,000 times. I'm just killing some time. Let that phrase sink in for a moment. You aren't killing time. Time is actively killing you. Every single hour you spend endlessly scrolling through an algorithm-driven feed. Every morning you hit the snooze button 3 times to escape reality for another 20 minutes. You aren't just passing time. You are actively tearing away pieces of your life that you will never, ever get back. The danger of this trap is that it's completely silent. You don't feel the loss today. You feel fine. But while you're waiting for the perfect moment to change, the clock is moving. You're getting older. Your baseline physical energy is shifting. Your parents are aging. Your dreams are sitting on a shelf, dusty and ignored. How long do you expect them to wait for you? Let me ask you directly, what did you accomplish yesterday? What about the day before that? If your days are starting to blur into a seamless loop of nothingness, you need to realize that the world does not care about your good intentions. It doesn't care about your elaborate reasons or your perfectly justified excuses. The world only responds to results. If you want to break out of this cycle, you have to treat your hours like gold. Literally, start writing down your daily schedule. Look at where your focus goes and consciously cut just one single hour of mindless media consumption every day. Reinvest that hour into reading, learning a high-value skill, or building a side project. When you respect your time, it becomes your greatest asset. When you abuse it, it becomes your most unforgiving enemy. Stop blaming, start building. Now, if we're going to talk about time, we also have to talk about responsibility. Look at where you are in life right now. If you don't like it, whose fault is it? It is incredibly easy to point fingers. We blame our parents for not giving us a head start. We blame the economy, the government, our bosses, our lack of money, or our supposed lack of natural talent. We construct these massive fortresses of excuses to protect ourselves from the discomfort of our own stagnation. But do you know who actually wins in the real world? The person who looks at a bad hand of cards and says, I don't care what I didn't get. I'm going to build something from absolute nothing. Think about the figures who have made the most profound impacts on human history. They rarely started with a perfect safety net. They didn't have optimal conditions, unlimited funding, or systemic support. What they did have was a deep internal hunger, a fire that refused to be put out, and a firm decision to rewrite their own stories. Stop playing the victim in a script you are actively writing. Accept your current circumstances as your starting line, not your finish line. Write down your problems on a physical piece of paper, and next to each one, write one practical solution you can execute this week. You aren't unlucky, and you certainly aren't weak. You've just gotten comfortable leaving your power completely unused. The comfort zone is an illusion. Let's talk about that daily routine of yours. You wake up, immediately check your phone, grab something convenient to eat, stream a few videos, scroll through social media, do just enough work or studying to get by, and go back to sleep. It feels safe, doesn't it? It feels incredibly relaxing. But you need to recognize that your comfort zone is a beautifully decorated trap. It feels safe because it demands absolutely nothing from you. But while you are resting inside it, your dreams are quietly dying of starvation. There is zero growth in comfort. Every single ounce of success, capability, and confidence you want exists entirely outside of that safe perimeter. If you want to speak fluent English, you can't just read grammar books in private. You have to speak it out loud, even if you make 100 embarrassing mistakes in front of real people. If you want to start a business, you have to launch the product, even if your first 10 attempts fail completely. Most people never even step up to the starting line because they're terrified of feeling uncomfortable, looking foolish, or hearing the laughter of critics. Let them laugh. Let them doubt you. Their opinions don't pay your bills, and they won't live with your regrets. You have to learn to fail loudly, fail proudly, and most importantly, fail forward. Nothing legendary has ever been built by staying perfectly safe. Later means never. Let's confront the single biggest lie you tell yourself every day. I'll do it later. Let's be completely honest with each other. When you say you'll do it later, you are lying straight to your own face. And the more you tell this specific lie, the more you quietly and permanently erode your self-trust. Later is simply the polite word for laziness. It is the voice of fear wrapped in a false promise to keep your conscious mind happy while your weaker self keeps control. When you say, I'll start exercising later, or I'll study that course later, what you are actually saying is, I don't care enough to do it right now. The people who win at life don't operate on the timeline of later. They operate on the timeline of now. They take action when they are tired, when they are scared, and long before they feel fully prepared. They act because they know a terrifying truth. Later almost always becomes never. Time is not a commodity you can save in a bank and spend when you feel like it. It doesn't send you a notification when it's about to run out. It just stops. And when it stops, you are left holding nothing but regret. which is the heaviest, most agonizing pain a human being can carry. If you want to fix your sleep, build a business, or master a language, start right now. Not next Monday, not next month, right now. Stop overthinking. How many brilliant ideas have you had that never saw the light of day because you thought them to death? Your mind can be your most powerful ally, but for most of us, it functions as a self-imposed prison. We overthink everything. We want to start a project, so we spend months researching, taking notes, buying gear, and downloading apps. We plan the perfect routine, visualize every scenario, and analyze every risk until we are completely exhausted before we've even taken a single real step. Overthinking is just fear disguised as preparation. You imagine failure before you've even tried. You write the script of your own defeat before you've even stepped onto the field. While a brief period of strategic thinking is necessary, anything beyond that is just a stalling tactic born of anxiety. You do not need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. You do not need to know everything to begin. If you want to improve, stop gathering information and start gathering execution. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates clarity. Success doesn't come to the person who thinks the most. It comes to the person who does the most. You versus you. When you look at the obstacles in your way, who do you see? Your boss? Your competition? Your lack of resources? Let's clear up a major misconception. Your ultimate rival isn't out there in the world. It's not your friends, your family, your job, or the distractions on your phone. Your real opponent is staring back at you in the mirror every single morning. It's the part of you that begs you to quit when things get difficult. It's the voice that whispers, "It's okay to be average, look around, everyone else is taking it easy." It's the version of you that prioritizes immediate comfort over long-term greatness. That version of you is your true enemy, and you have to go to war with it every single day. This is the ultimate internal battle, the lazy you versus the ambitious you, the scared you versus the courageous you, the version that wants to hide in safety versus the version that wants to challenge the world. Every morning, you get to choose which side wins. Will you give your energy to the version that wastes 3 hours watching mindless content, or the version that reads, builds, and grows? No one else can make that choice for you. Two voices are constantly competing for your future, and the one that wins is simply the one you choose to feed. Willpower over feelings. Let's talk about motivation. A lot of people watch videos like this hoping for a spark of motivation that will make action feel effortless. But let's be entirely real. Motivation is completely unreliable. It shows up when the weather is nice and your energy is high, but it vanishes the moment you are tired, stressed, or bored. If you run your life based on how you feel, you have handed your entire destiny over to your temporary moods. And let's face it, feelings are liars. You aren't going to feel like waking up early on a cold morning. You aren't going to feel like studying dense material after a long day of work. You aren't going to feel like stepping into a gym when your body is tired. This is exactly where willpower comes into play. Willpower means executing the right action precisely when you do not feel like doing it. It means standing up and saying yes when your comfort-seeking brain is screaming no. The individuals who achieve remarkable things aren't blessed with permanent motivation. They're anchored by unyielding discipline. They show up when they are broke, when they are heartbroken, when they are exhausted, and when they are completely defeated. Willpower is a muscle. Every single time you force yourself to complete a task despite your mood, that muscle grows stronger. Start small, pick one thing you've been avoiding, and do it today regardless of how your mind tries to talk you out of it. The danger of comparison. Why do so many people genuinely hate their lives today, even when they have so much to be grateful for? It's simple, because they spend far more time monitoring other people's lives than building their own. You open a social media app, and within seconds, you are bombarded by images of someone with a flawless physique, a pristine luxury car, a beautiful home, or a seemingly perfect lifestyle. You see someone speaking effortlessly, pulling in massive views, and earning incredible amounts of money. And automatically you start turning that inward. You start asking, what is wrong with me? Why is my life such a chaotic mess while theirs is completely perfect? But look at the logical flaw in that thinking. You're actively comparing your messy, unedited, behind-the-scenes reality with their highly curated, polished highlight reel. You are judging your full 24 hours of human struggle against a 15-second clip designed specifically to look flawless. You don't see their private anxieties, their moments of intense loneliness, their operational failures, or the hundreds of times they wept in frustration before they achieved that success. Comparing your baseline progress to someone else's peak achievement is the fastest way to kill your momentum. You have an entirely unique path, a distinct set of challenges in your own specific timeline. Focus entirely on your own lane. Measure your growth today exclusively against who you were 30 days ago, not against a stranger on a screen. Filter advice carefully. As you start to step out of your comfort zone and make changes, a lot of people are going to start giving you advice. Friends, family members, co-workers. Everyone will have an opinion on what you should do, how you should invest your time, and why your goals might be too risky. But you must learn to filter this noise with extreme care. Never take directions from someone who has never driven the route. If you want to build an independent business, why would you take financial advice from a friend who has been safely employed at a standard job their entire life? If you want to become a confident public speaker, why would you listen to someone who is too terrified to share their thoughts in a basic meeting? The world is full of people who talk constantly, but most of it is just static noise. They offer loud opinions without ever having felt the pain of risking their own skin in the game. They tell you to play it safe because they played it safe, and seeing you strive reminds them of what they gave up. Be polite, thank them for their input, but fiercely protect your vision. One bad piece of advice from an unqualified source can cost you years of misdirected effort. Pick yourself. We spend so much of our youth waiting to be chosen. We wait for a company to hire us, a mentor to select us, an audience to discover us, or a lucky break to magically land in our laps. We treat our lives like an audition where we are constantly begging an invisible judge for permission to step onto the main stage. Stop waiting to be picked. The world does not care enough to come looking for you in your room. If you want opportunity, you have to build the door and walk through it yourself. Stop waiting for someone to validate your talent or tell you that you are officially ready. Think about the creators, innovators, and leaders who actually changed their industries. They didn't wait for a formal invitation. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 separate publishers before Harry Potter found a home. What if she had stopped at rejection number 5, waiting for the world to validate her? She chose to believe in her work and kept pushing forward until the world had no choice but to listen. Put your own name on a roster. Start the channel. Write the first chapter, launch the platform, or submit the application even if you feel completely underqualified. The world cannot ignore someone who chooses themselves so decisively that external validation becomes entirely irrelevant. No risk, no story. Let's look at the long game. Decades from now, when you're old and looking back at the story of your life, what kind of narrative do you want to remember? Do you want a story where every single chapter reads, and then they stayed home, played it safe, avoided mistakes, and ensured nothing unexpected ever happened? That isn't a life. That's just a long wait for the end. You cannot achieve an extraordinary life while clinging desperately to absolute safety. Every single person you admire, every champion, every visionary, every individual who left a legacy had to risk something substantial to get there. They risked their capital, their time, their social standing, and their personal comfort. If you refuse to take risks, your life will certainly be quiet and predictable, but it will also be profoundly hollow. No one remembers the person who played it safe. People remember the person who dared, the person who stepped into the arena, the person who took the hits, bore the scars, and built something meaningful anyway. What is the absolute worst that could happen if you take that risk today? You fail, you look silly, you have to start over. All of those things are temporary. But the alternative, living a life defined by the question, what if, is a permanent wait. Take the leap, take the risk, and give yourself a story actually worth telling. As we bring all of these pieces together, let's look at the absolute reality of our situation. Right now, as you sit here listening to this, there are 2 metaphorical wolves living inside your mind. One wolf is named distraction. It feeds on endless scrolling, quick dopamine fixes, constant procrastination, overthinking, and comfortable excuses. The other wolf is named focus. It feeds on hard execution, daily discipline, internal accountability, and the courage to take real risks. The wolf that grows stronger, the one that ultimately takes control of your destiny, is simply the one you choose to feed every single day. If you don't like the current trajectory of your life, if you hate your routine, your energy levels, your habits, or your lack of progress, then stop acting like a passive victim of circumstance. You're not a tree. You're not permanently rooted in place. You have the total, absolute authority to completely reinvent yourself at any given moment. You can change your environment, discard your toxic habits, distance yourself from distracting relationships, and completely rebuild your daily focus from scratch. Stop expecting life to be an easy, comfortable ride. The world does not owe you success, happiness, or respect just because you are a good person with big dreams. The world only rewards execution. If you want a life that feels genuinely worth living, you have to step up, face the mirror, and start demanding exponentially more from yourself than anyone else could ever expect of you. If this message hit close to home, and if you're truly done with making excuses and letting your hours slip away, then let's make a definitive pact right now. Do not just close this video and immediately click on another random piece of entertainment to distract yourself from the discomfort you are feeling. Let's turn this insight into immediate, concrete action. I want you to drop a comment below right now with one specific, concrete action you're going to take today to move your life forward. Whether it's shutting off your phone at 10 p.m., spending 30 minutes practicing a skill, or finally initiating that project you've delayed for months. Make it a public commitment to yourself and to this community. If you want more raw, unfiltered strategies on how to build discipline, master your habits, and unlock your true capability, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. We drop actionable, high-value insights regularly to help you stop drifting and start building a life you are genuinely proud of. Thank you so much for watching. Stop overthinking, trust your work, and take action today. I'll see you in the very next video. Stay strong.